The Global Cast showcases SFU students' diverse stories, a podcast that fosters inclusivity by sharing in intercultural conversations, opportunities, and fun segments with our SFU Global community. We want to start by respectfully acknowledging the Squamish, Tsleil-Waututh, Kwikwetlem, and Musqueam peoples on whose sacred, unceded, and ancestral territories we are recording today.
In our sixth episode, we are joined by 4 lovely SFU alumni who have recently graduated from different faculties across SFU. Join us as we reflect upon our journey, offer advice and tips, and speak to what life has been like post-graduation.
Okay, hello everyone, and welcome to Global Cast. My name is Audrey, and I will be the host for today's episode. So today, we're going to have our grad episode, and we are joined by 3 lovely guests who also recently convocated this spring. And we will talk about our personal experiences and reflecting on our undergraduate journey and beyond at SFU. So I guess we'll just kind of jump into introductions, and I'll start with myself actually, that I also recently convocated. I graduated with a Bachelor of Arts in Communication with a minor in print and digital publishing. So yeah, maybe we can go around and introduce ourselves. And
Sure. So my name's Nora. We have very similar backgrounds, Audrey. I also graduated in communication as a major and then print and digital publishing as a minor. I'm a international student. I came to Canada, I think it was in 2016 from China. So yeah, it took me a solid 5 years to graduate. But yeah, definitely worth it though. Yeah.
nice. Yeah, definitely that 4 years expectation. It's very difficult.
Yeah.
But yeah, maybe Ekin.
Yeah, thank you. My name is Ekin. I just completed my degree as well. I did my major in criminology and minor in psychology. I did also a legal studies certificate. And just like Nora, it took me 5 years. I started in 2016. I was an international student. I say I was because now I am on my work permit. So I think now I am considered international worker. I don't know. Yeah, so that's a bit about me. And hopefully we can talk more during this podcast and get to know about each other more.
Yes, I know I see you everywhere at SFU on the SFU channels. So yeah, congratulations.
Thank you, Adri, and congratulations to you as well.
My name's Kayla. I, just like everybody else in this podcast, just recently graduated. I majored in international studies. Also, just like Nora and Ekin, I too took 5 years. So the graduating in 4 years, I'm gonna put outright, it's a myth. It doesn't work that way. So I transferred into SFU, but I'm a domestic transfer student. But I've also been an international student as well. So a little bit of both sides there. But yeah.
I see. So you're an international student when you were younger, like in high school?
No, sorry. So I did a semester abroad. So I did the whole international student experience that way.
Yeah.
But yeah, domestic transfer student into SFU. But while in SFU, I went abroad. So then I was an international student, and then I came back.
Oh, I see. Okay.
I jumped around.
Yeah. That's great. Yeah, I think something we all have in common is that, we all recently just graduated. But we're gonna take it back. We're gonna go way back in our personal student journeys from the beginning, coming to SFU in that first year student experience. It was awkward for some. It was weird transition. But yeah, I would just like to hear if you can take us through your first experience or a memorable experience being on campus, for the first time, or attending your first lecture or tutorial.
Sure. Okay.
It's really funny because this is only 3 years ago, but it seems so long ago, but also so recent, if that makes sense to anybody else at the same time.
Mhm.
Um, I think probably one of my first experiences or most memorable experiences is when, so my first semester, all my classes were at Harbor Center. That's just where my program is.
Mhm.
But I remember walking into that campus and it looks very different to SFU Burnaby. Um, More like,
Yeah.
yeah, more businessy, more, there's a lot more art and it just looks super fancy. And I remember walking in and then
Yeah.
seeing the campus and attending my first class, and all these people that I was with had so much experience and so much knowledge, and I immediately was so intimidated. I was like, wow, I feel like I don't fit in here and I feel like I'm in the wrong place. um but as the semester like grew, so that was my first impression, but then as the semester went on, I kind of gravitated towards that, just because I might not have the same experience or knowledge going in doesn't mean that that's still not an attribute that I can learn from everybody else. So by the end of the semester, I was kind of like more set in myself and being like, this is where I'm supposed to be, and it might be a trek, but like I'm in it type
Mhm.
aspect. So yeah, that was my first experience, from intimidation to
Mhm.
kind of being like, this is my home.
Yeah, I felt the same way too, actually, when I went to like the Vancouver campus. I felt like, oh, this is Vancouver. Like this is downtown. It was like a different experience compared to like a small town where I'm like currently, living in. And yeah, it's like intimidating, like, oh, this is university now. This is, post-secondary life. Um, but yeah, thank you for sharing. How about, Nora or Ekin, whoever, if you'd like to share your first experience with us.
So, my first experience was actually on campus, was actually in FIC, because I transferred from FIC. Just for the people who may not know, FIC is Fraser International College. It is on Burnaby campus as well. So over there, yeah, when I attended my first class, most of the people, maybe all in my classroom, were international students like me, and they were new to the country just like me. So compared to SFU and FIC, there were big differences, because in SFU, when I attended my first class, I got to know, I got to meet with so many broader category of people, from people from Vancouver to across Canada to maybe all over the world and such. Yeah, it was just so beautiful. Like, I remember I got to talk with so many different people, but in FIC at first, um, I was a bit more comfortable, because I knew that most of the people were international students like me, and none of our English were really good at the beginning, especially the first class, first semester. But for SFU, I was a bit nervous. I was a bit more shy, because I was like, how about if my friends won't understand my accent, those kind of things. But then after that, of course, all my thoughts just went away, because here is so multicultural, so diverse. People are all, yeah, it was just like that.
Yeah. As you were transferring from FIC to SFU, would you say like that experience was very different?
Yeah, I think it made my experience in SFU easier, because I just cannot imagine myself directly coming to SFU. It would have been much harder for me, because
Mhm.
in FIC it's like it prepares you to transfer to SFU, especially people like me. Like, I was so shy, not
Mhm.
because I was introvert. I am really extrovert person, but because I didn't have that confidence, and it was a
Mhm.
totally new country and such. So yeah.
Yeah, like new experiences makes you like more reserved and yeah, more
Yeah.
shy. Yeah, thank you for sharing. How about you, Nora? Any memorable experiences?
Yeah, I think I kind of shared a similar like feeling with Ekin. I can share like a little really heartwarming story. So when I first my first semester at SFU, there's because I'm in communication and I'm sure you know, Audrey, like there's lots of like discussions in tutorials,
Yeah.
and I was like very I was like not confident with my English too. I just don't know like how to speak up like in a group of people. And yeah, just I had some like frustration. I don't know like what to do. And yeah, it just made me really sad that time. But I went to my TA at the time. I really shout out to my TA. He's super like supportive, super sweet. I told him like what I've been through, and he was like, "Oh, like it's not your fault at all. It's probably just like how the course setting and how we like set up the tutorial and everything." And after that, whenever there's like a group discussion, he would just call on my name and kind of like asking, "Oh, Nora, like what's your opinion on this?" So I was like given a very like positive and involved kind of atmosphere that I feel like very comfortable that I can share. So yeah, it was really I think that really helped me build my confidence at the very beginning. And then after that, it made me feel like it's not a problem to like go for help. And just yeah, overall very like supportive environment at SFU.
That's very wholesome story. Like, yeah, I think as a first year too, it's like that anxiety and that even makes you shy, makes you like more reserved. Like you
Yeah.
said, Ekin, like, you're not usually you're not usually like shy, but it's like that environment because it's new, it makes you more, keep to yourself. And I think like as a first year, you're learning to navigate that new situation. And people that like TAs, like those who help support you, help you flourish as a student and as a person as well. Well, moving forward now after your first year, and now you're familiar with being on campus and I would say fairly adjusted to student life. We want to now talk about the things that you did and experiences you gained while at SFU in your third and fourth year, on campus and off campus as well. So how was everyone's experience getting involved?
Yeah, I can jump in. I feel like something happened to me in third year, and I just got so much energy that I was able to handle so many things at the same time. When I look back, it was very tiring sometimes, I think, but I really enjoyed it. And I just wanted to take more work, so which was uh, really helpful for me to build my resume experience, make new friends, and just take everything out of this university experience, which was amazing. Yeah, so I volunteered a lot. Of course, I studied
Mhm.
for my classes, and then I worked as well. I gained work experience too. I attended projects. And then yeah, I did different initiatives also between FIC and SFU. I tried to help others, other students share my experiences. So yeah, it was just full of so many different things I really enjoyed. And right now I am really missing it. I just completed my degree a couple months ago. Yes, I did not miss assignments or exams, but I miss that being busy part, or yeah, just as a student helping others, or just building new experiences.
Well, when you said like third year something happened to you, was there like any specific um like thing that or any specific way that helped you kind of get your foot into getting involved?
Yeah, I think as I told you, I was very shy before, like especially during my transition from FIC to SFU. But I wanted to do something. I wanted to volunteer. I wanted to meet with new people because yeah, I really enjoy socializing with others and such. So yeah, I just started to volunteer and I applied for GCP. I volunteered in FIC as well. And then I think GCP, like Global Connections Program, is one of the programs that made fully my university life, because over there I got to explore more. I learned much more about my campus, my school, and then about Vancouver. And then I started to explore more. I met with different people, different recommendations, different experiences.
Mhm.
Yeah, those helped me for me to become who I am today.
Mm. Oh, wow, that's great. Yeah, we didn't sponsor you or anything.
Yeah,
but
definitely.
Oh, that's great. But yeah, how about you, Kayla? I know you're also involved with the Global Connections program. And how was that experience getting involved on campus?
Yeah, so my first semester in Global Connections, I was actually with Ekin, and I loved every minute of it. I guess also my transition moment in my third slash fourth-ish year was after I studied abroad. I returned and I wanted to be more involved with international students and be more involved in kind of helping shape or guide that university life. But I came back just before the pandemic started, so then field schools, study abroad, everything was canceled. Um, I don't even remember how I stumbled upon GC, but I found GCP and it was like working with international students, building connections and talking about the university. And I was like, oh, I think this is like what I want to do, because I still wanted to be a part of such a transitional time now that I went abroad and I fully now, not, I can't even say fully, because I was there short term, but I had a taste and understanding of what it felt like to be a brand new international student coming into a university where you really know no one. Um, and so I wanted to be a part of something that I was like, well, let's make it more like, let's make it more fun. Let's make it more inviting, more enticing.
Yeah.
So I actually didn't get to volunteer on campus. All of my stuff on GCP was online. Um, but it was the first time for GCP to be online, and I still thought, I mean, I know nothing else. I only know online, but I still thought it was wonderful, and it also really made like my last year of university because I met a whole bunch of different people that otherwise I wouldn't have met, and I think that's great. So.
Mhm. Yeah. How about you, Nora?
Yeah, so I joined a club actually in the second semester at SFU, and then that really helped me kind of build the foundation for later on because I gained so much experience and learned how to deal with different people, and also because I was doing like a lot of graphic design for the club and event planning, so it helped me really build my portfolio as well. Then I would say like 80% of the credit belongs to that volunteer position for getting my first co-op. And then after the first co-op, I worked for the Global Connections program as well. And I think, yeah, I can was there too. We were able to join like lots of in-person events and really connect with different people and members. So yeah, I would say my work experience at the Global Connection program will be the one that I enjoy the most because I really get to like talk to different people and know their stories. Yeah, it was just really fun experience. Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, and you all talked about it too, about, volunteering and even working, right? Nora, you worked with the GCP program and at SFU. Then for all of you, like the experiences that you went through, and Kayla, it was for field or study abroad. And Ekin, it was for you getting involved right on campus. And Nora, it was even through you volunteering with clubs. Has that helped you gain clarity with, what your values are in terms of your career and life aspirations through those experiences?
Definitely for me, 100%, maybe like million percent. Yeah, like I am so glad that I came to Canada as an international student, and I am so glad that I chose SFU because, yeah, I just enjoyed so much, very much with my university life.
Mhm.
It was stressful, yes, especially final week and such. But when I now think back, I am like, even that stress, I feel like I will miss it after some time. Not now, but after some time, yeah. Yeah. I really enjoyed during my university life. Like, I don't know. I hope, I feel so lucky that I had this opportunity, to study as an international college, is international student. Yeah. I definitely found myself.
Mhm. Yeah, that for me as well. Like I did co-op a couple terms. I didn't get to do both 3 terms, but even through co-op too, I was able to find, okay, what is it that I liked and what is it that I really wanted more of. And even my time here at ISS, the International Services for Students, I really realized that I love that community engagement like aspect of the job more than the design, in which some students, they like the design aspect, but I thought that's what I liked as well. But I really found that I love the community engagement part and being able to talk with volunteers and collaborate with other students as well.
I want to share um I actually didn't know like that I can do design and like graphic design, those kind of things, but I started doing it because after I joined the club and my during the second semester, and I think there was somebody else doing the poster, but they were not doing it anymore. So the president was like, "Oh, Nora, do you want to design this?" And I did it. And the president at the time, she was super um, enjoying it. She was like, "Okay, you're just like really good at it," and that kind of really helped me build my confidence, and then feel like, oh, maybe that's something I can try, and then I start to like take the design courses in publishing. And yeah, I kind of like, if you're not being pushed to do something, you just really don't know like what your potentials are. Yeah.
Yeah, and you found like what even you enjoyed through that volunteer experience.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I'd love to know what has everyone been up to since you have graduated. Maybe Ekin, do you want to start us off?
Yeah, sure. So a month ago, I just started my first full-time job. Right now, I am working full-time at Vancouver Law Courts as a court clerk. So I really enjoy it. Yeah. And it is related with my degree as well, because I did my degree in criminology and certificate in legal studies. So yeah, right now I do not want to think about the master's part or like studies, because as we talk, like I just completed my degree, but after some point, of course, I want to continue on my master's. And
That's great. Yeah. How about you? How about Nora or Kayla?
So since graduating, I've been trying to get a job as I can did. So yeah, I've been through some like roller coaster experience, but I've started my new position 2 weeks ago as the social media and communications coordinator um, at a health science company here in Vancouver. So yeah, it's been pretty, on track now. Uh, yeah.
Yeah, that's great.
congratulations, Nora.
Yeah, congrats to you too.
Yeah.
How about you, Kayla? Yes.
Well, first off, congratulations to both Nora and Ekin as well. Um, I'm on the complete flip side of what, what you guys are doing. Um, I worked for a couple of weeks at my job, and then besides that, I will be very transparent and say I have been relaxing and taking the time to do all the things that I put off during the semester and during finals. So I'm doing all of that now. And I know that feels real for a lot of people. So, but I think it's also, like I said, I did work for a couple of weeks, but I'm also taking the time to figure out what I really want and how I see my future moving forward, um, outside of academia. Because we focus so long, we're in our undergrad, we're kind of like nose down in the books, that when, I don't know if Ekin and Nora, maybe you felt the same way or maybe you didn't, but as soon as I had finished, I was kind of like, okay, so what now? Like what, like what comes next? So figuring that out has been a bit of a also, like Nora said, it's been a bit of a roller coaster, but I feel like we all have to go through it to figure out what we actually see for ourselves. So, yeah.
Yeah. Well, thank you for sharing, because actually I'm on the similar boat as you, Kayla, where after this time, when I finish my time here, actually like don't really have like anything planned out. Just like as I have that similar sentiment where the things that I put off, like the 4 or 5 years at SFU, where I said I'll do that later, or I want to do that one day. I want to experience that, after, when I'm fortunate enough to be able to, before, jumping into anything, just really having that personal development, personal discovery, I guess. But yeah. And
Yeah, I had. Oh, sorry.
oh no, go ahead.
I was gonna say I definitely agree with you. I had, as soon as I was like done in April, I was like, May to August or May to July is just me taking personal time, and I'll jump back into whatever I figure out in the summer. I will like start up in September and like figure out where that takes me. But I was like, I gotta take the time. Like I gotta take the time.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah, thank you everyone for sharing, what is next for you in your personal journeys too. And just to end off for today, then any advice that you would give to students, whether they're coming to SFU for the first time, or students whether they're thinking about getting involved or graduating soon. Any general advice for
I
for
have
this?
my biggest advice is not everything is academics. So I advise them to focus on volunteering, getting to know more people, enjoying as much as they can.
I think my biggest advice would be never be afraid of making mistakes.
I said it earlier, so I'll just briefly summarize again, but it's finding a routine that you enjoy, so you're not just going to school or going to SFU up to campus to like take your class and come back.
Yes, that's so true. And I agree with what everyone shared as well, that, as a student, you face so much pressure from all around you, even indirectly too, and even from yourself as well. But, even one thing that I was able to take away from our conversation together is that it's a personal journey where even though there is, the expectations or that pressure, but it's what you're going through, and there is no ideal way or pace on how we go about, like, going through SFU and graduating and all those things, that all those experiences that you for yourself that resonates with you, that is what like ultimately leads you. And there are mistakes sometimes, and and like and those things, but I hope I hope this conversation, and it really was very insightful for me too, to hear from my fellow graduates. But it was like comforting and also motivating, for I hope for all students who are listening as well, that wherever you are in your SFU journey, whether you have an idea or have no idea where you're going, but all of it, it's a part of that. It's a part of a journey, I guess. Yeah, and I guess that's the theme of today's episode. But yeah, thank you so much, Nora, Ekin, and Kayla, for joining me today and sharing your personal experiences with us. Thank you for listening to this episode of the Global Cast. If you have any questions you would like answered by us, or want to let us know what you'd like to hear in the next episode, leave us a message on Facebook or Instagram at SFU Global Community. Until next time.